Question 76. First, use the distribution property on the left and the right side to form the equations 6x plus 16 equals 6x plus 12. Subtracting 6x from both sides, you get the impossible equation 16 equals 12. 16 does not equal 12. Therefore, no values of x when plugged into the original equation will result in an equal situation. The correct answer is F, no value of x. Question 77. The volume for this figure is s squared h. The equation is then changed in dimension so that the s value is now doubled, or 2s, and the h value is tripled, or 3h. The new volume, therefore, V equals 2s squared times 3h. The new volume is 4s squared times 3h, or V equals 12 s squared h. Since the original equation was s squared h, 12 s squared h is 12 times the volume of the original figure. The correct answer is C, 12. Question 78. Since the soccer balls are going into two different size boxes, use the small boxes first. If you fill in all 10 boxes, well, 5 go into each box. 5 times 10 is 50 soccer balls total. Next, fill the large size boxes. Each one holds 8 soccer balls. Well, from the 99, you now have 49 soccer balls left to put into boxes. 8 times 6 boxes equals 48 soccer balls. You will have 1 left over. But the question was, how many boxes can you completely fill? The number of completely filled boxes will be 10 small boxes and 6 large boxes. So 16 boxes will be completely filled. The correct answer is J, 16. Question 79. In this hours versus earnings graph, we have a direct variation. The equation E for earnings equals the pay per hour times the number of hours worked is the equation for this graph. Using the point 10, 60, we have that $60 is earned at this pay rate when you work 10 hours. Therefore, this worker earns $6 per hour. 6 times 50 hours of work would be $300. The correct answer, therefore, is E, $300. Question 80. To solve this triangle inequality problem, place the longest side as the base of the triangle you'd like to construct. If you do so using the answers in descending order, if I choose 17 to be the base side of the triangle, I simply don't have enough material to create a triangle if it's 19 units in perimeter. Therefore, it's not possible. Here I've drawn an example with 17 as the base and 1 unit on each side, and those units for those two sides are not long enough to meet. Similarly, if I choose a base of 15 units, I don't have enough material, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Those two sides will also not be able to meet. Even if I choose a side of a base as 10 units for my long side, and then split the other 9 units into 3 and 6, they're not long enough for a triangle to be formed. Since all of these triangles are not possible, the next choice is 8. Well, if I choose 8 as the base for the longest side, I can choose my other two sides as 8 and 3, for example. Then I have a possible triangle that can be constructed. The correct answer is G, 8. Question 81. Since 2x minus 10 is greater than 3x, we can subtract 2x from both sides of the inequality, and we get negative 10 is greater than x. Being careful, I've graphed this ray on the number line. Notice the open circle at negative 10, and the ray going to the left towards the negative numbers, because negative 10 is greater than any x value. The solution set that satisfies this of the choices given, only negative 11 is in the solution set. The correct answer is A, negative 11. Question 82. Since we're told that the central square, WXYZ, is equal to 16 units, what I can do is, since they're all midpoints, is draw the horizontal and vertical lines, which will split this square into 4 equal sections. Each triangle is 4. Well, since those are all midpoints, every horizontal and vertical segment in the picture is congruent. Therefore, the inside square's triangles are congruent to the outside triangles. Therefore, the area of triangle CXY is also 4. The correct answer is F, 4. Question 83. Since 3 numbers have an average of 7, we can say A plus B plus C divided by 3 equals 7. Also, 4 numbers, when divided by 4, has an average of 8. And 5 other numbers, when divided by 5, have an average of 11. This is useful because we can multiply each fraction on the left by the denominator, and we get, well, the total number of units for A plus B plus C is 21. The total number of units for D plus E plus F plus G is 32. The total number of units for H plus I plus J plus K plus L is 55. Therefore, the sigma sum from A to L of these x values equals 21 plus 32 plus 55, or 108 units total. The average of these 12 numbers is then 108 divided by 12, or 9. The correct answer is D, 9. Question 84. We initially had 20 socks total in the drawer. Contained in the drawer were 8 blue, 10 black, and 2 white. But then we removed 4 blue socks. And now the drawer has 4 blue, 10 black, and 2 white, and 16 total. The probability of a random draw that the sock is not white is therefore 4 blue plus 10 black divided by the total, which is now 16. This reduces to 7 out of 8. The correct answer is J, 7/8. Question 85. We're told that the triangle is a right triangle, and many are already familiar with the 3, 4, 5 right triangle. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals the hypotenuse 5 squared, which is true since 9 plus 16 equals 25, and 25 does equal 25. But there is another triangle that can be constructed. If we keep 3 as one of the legs, but make 4 the hypotenuse, we can make the other leg the square root of 7. Then the sum of the squares of the legs will also equal the hypotenuse squared. Here we have the square root of 7 squared plus 3 squared equals 4 squared, or 7 plus 9 equals 16, and 16 equals 16. Therefore, the correct answer is E, not uniquely determined. Question 86. When considering the painted faces of a cube that is 3 by 3 by 3, it's good to stay organized by focusing on the top layer of cubes, the middle layer, and the bottom. Here I've painted in red the cubes, seen from the side, that have 2 red faces. If I make a layer array for the top, middle, and bottom of the 9 cubes on the top layer middle layer, and bottom layer, you can see that the top layer, each corner cube has 3 painted faces. Each middle cube has 1 painted face. And each edge cube has 2 painted faces. So on the top layer, there are 4 cubes that have 2 red faces. In the middle layer, it is the corner cubes that have 2 painted red faces. The middle cube doesn't receive any paint at all because we're only painting the outside surface. And the middle cubes on the edge also are painted just on that one side. The bottom layer has the same mapping as the top layer. Each middle edge cube has the 2 red faces. So for each layer, on the top there are 4 painted 2-face red cubes. On the middle layer there are also 4, and on the bottom there are 4. Therefore there are 12 total. The correct answer is H, 12 cubes. Question 87. We're told that 2 blobs equals 3 glops, and then, as a second fact, that 3 blobs equals 2 chunks. In order to find the correct ratio between these 3 items, we need to create a common term. Here in the information given, the blobs are information in both facts. So I'll multiply the first fact by 3 for that ratio, and the second fact I'll multiply by 2. That will give me 6 blobs in the left column, and that will equal 9 glops, and the third ratio will now be 4 chunks. So the true ratio is 6 to 9 to 4. But we're told we want to know what 1 chunk equals. So we'll divide each column by 4, and we get that 1 chunk equals 9 over 4 glops. The correct answer is E, 9 over 4 glops. Question 88. Based on the pie charts given, we know that at Montague High, the vanilla to chocolate ratio of students' preferences is 40% to 30%. This reduces to 4 to 3. The correct answer is G, 4 to 3. Question 89. We do not know the student populations of Montague High or Capulet High. For example, there could be 5,000 students in Montague High and 4,000 students at Capulet High. Or there could be 20 students at Montague High and 10,000 students in Capulet High. Therefore, of the choices given, E, the relationship cannot be determined from the information given. Question 90. For integers, we know that any even integer times any other number will result in an even number. Of the choices given, 4x minus 1 will result in an even result, minus 1, which will give us always an odd number. Therefore, the correct answer is H, 4x minus 1. Question 91. For this sequence, each number is repeated the number of times of its value. So adding what is called the triangular sequence, 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way up to 8, we see that that would be 36 positions. Here I've wrote the sequence in the sets with the last 7 being the 28th, and then the 8 8s repeating, and then the 9s. And we can see that since the last 8 is the 36th position, the 40th position will be a 9. The correct answer is B, 9. Question 92. In increasing the square from 576 square inches to an additional foot, first note that the side length of that square is 24 inches. Then adding a foot is equivalent to adding 12 extra inches, so the new square will become 36 inches by 36 inches, and 36 times 36 is 1,296 square inches. The correct answer is J, 1,296. Question 93. Since P and Q and R are all fractions and they're all co-prime denominators, what we do is, well, we take the 25 and we multiply it by 7 and 4 for the least common multiple. That becomes the new denominator. So the equivalent fractions have the other factors added to them in both the numerator and denominator. P therefore becomes 504 over 25 times 7 times 4. Q will be 500 over 25 times 7 times 4. And R will be 525 upon 25 times 7 times 4. The correct answer is C. Q will be less than P is less than R. Question 94. Since the container was 3/4 full and now it's 1/4 full, it has been reduced by half a container. Since the container was also reduced by 20 ounces, we know that that is an equal amount to a half a container. Since a half of the container equals 20, the full container can hold 40 ounces. The correct answer is G, 40. Question 95. For this algebraic expression, we want the values to become positive, and we're only allowed to use integers. So, the values that work for this equation are n equals 13, which will make the expression 13 minus 10, over 14 minus 13, 12, which will make the expression 1, 11, which will make the expression 1/3. But 10 will make the expression 0, and any values less than 10 down to 0 will make the expression negative. The correct answer is C, 3. Question 96. For this geometric construction, a semicircle atop a square, we're supposed to find the shaded area, here drawn in black. What I've done is I've decomposed the shape into 3 sections. The shaded area, a red triangle which splits the center line, and the right half of the figure, meaning half of the semicircle and square put together. To solve this problem, let's first find the total area. The area of the semicircle is a half of a circle, a half pi r squared. So it works out to be a half times pi times 4, which is 2 pi. The radius is 2 because the side of the square is 4, and the diameter of the circle is 4. The radius is a half the diameter. The area of the square is 4 times 4 because the side length is 4, which is 16. So the total area would be 2 pi plus 16. But now let's focus on the 3 shapes. Well, the half of this shape, the semicircle and square, will be a half of this 2 pi plus 16, which is pi plus 8. The red triangle is a half of the base, which is half the side of the square, so it's 2, times the height, which is the square plus the radius, which is 6. Therefore, that area of the red triangle is 6. The total area of the blue shaded region and the red shaded region is the area of this half figure plus the triangle would be pi plus 14. Taking the total area of the shape and subtracting this blue and red area will give us the black shaded area. So the total area, 2 pi plus 16 minus pi plus 14, gives us the shaded area is pi plus 2. The correct answer is F, pi plus 2. Question 97. Expanding the exponents may be a fast way to simplify this expression. 4 to the 6th times 3 to the 4th times 2 squared upon 4 squared times 3 to the 4th times 2 to the 6th. When the numbers are expanded out and matching factors are canceled, top and bottom, the problem reduces to 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 over 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 2's equals 4 when multiplied. So that will cancel one 4 atop. So the other pair of 2's will cancel another 4. So this fraction becomes 4 times 4 over 1, which is 16. The correct answer is D, 16. Question 98. We want to find the expression that's less than a third. You could do this by seeing that the first choice is a third, and a couple of the other choices are 0.4. But let's look at the true answer here. Well, the true answer is 5 factorial over 6 factorial. 5 factorial equals 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 6 factorial equals 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Well, each of the matching factors, top and bottom, cancel to 1. So this reduces to 1/6. The correct answer is K, 5 factorial over 6 factorial, which equals 1/6. Question 99. Here we have another ratio problem, but simply with variables this time, a, b, and c. The first fact given is that 3a equals 4b. The second fact is that, well, 5b equals 6c. Therefore, since we have b in both of those facts, we'll use that as our least common multiple term. And we'll multiply the first fact ratio by 5's, and the second fact ratio by 4's. Then we'll get 20 for the b column. A will become 3 times 5, or 15, and c will become 6 times 4, or 24. So the true ratio of these three items, A is 15, B 20, and C 24. What's asked for is the ratio from A to C. Well, that would be 15 to 24, which reduces to 5 to 8. The correct answer is B, 5 to 8. Question 100. Observing this L shape with sides x and x and sides y and y only in place, if we complete the square and draw in the shaded red region, we see that the L shape is formed by taking the area of x squared and subtracting this red square, y squared. I've written the equation below. X squared minus y squared equals 52 units. Observing my list of perfect squares between 10 and 15, I noticed that, well, 12 squared is 144, and 14 squared is 196. That is the exact difference of 52 that I was looking for. The lower values of n between 1 and 12 did not create a gap of exactly 52 units. So I found that if I let x equal 14, then x squared would be 196. If I let y equal 12, y squared will be 144. Then the shaded region of the area will be 52. To find the perimeter of this shaded region, I read you the figure below with the numbers in place. Since 14 is now x and 12 is now y, we can see that, well, on the square, if each side is 14, it's split into 12 and 2. So for the perimeter, I've circled, we have 14 plus 2 plus 12 plus 12 plus 2 plus 14, which is 56. The correct answer is J, 56.